In the heart of Naples, behind the beauty of the Mediterranean coastline, lies one of Europe's most dangerous neighborhoods, Forcella, a medieval labyrinth of narrow alleys where sunlight barely reaches the cobblestones, where ancient traditions collide with modern organized crime, and where one man would rise to become the undisputed king of the underworld. His name was Luigi Giuliano. To some, a Robin Hood figure who protected his people. To others, a ruthless gangster who ruled through fear and violence. This is his story. To understand Luigi Giuliano, you must first understand the Camorra. Unlike Sicily's Cosa Nostra, with its rigid hierarchy, the Camorra is a looser confederation of clans. Each family controls its territory with iron fists and blood oaths. The Camorra's roots stretch back over 400 years, born in the Spanish prisons of Naples. By the late 20th century, it had evolved into one of the world's most powerful criminal organizations, controlling everything from drug trafficking to garbage disposal, from construction contracts to political corruption. With over 100 clans and more than 6,000 members generating 25 billion euros annually, the Camorra doesn't just operate in the shadows. In Naples, it is the shadow government. Luigi Giuliano was born in 1960 in Forcella, in the very heart of Camorra territory. The neighborhood was a world unto itself, a place where police rarely ventured and where the old ways still ruled. His childhood was marked by poverty, but also by a code. The code of omertà, silence. The code of respect. The code that said family, both blood and criminal, came before everything. In Forcella, boys like Luigi didn't choose the life chose them. If you were smart, tough, and loyal, the clans noticed you, and the Giuliano family was already connected. Luigi wasn't alone. He had brothers, Carmine, Guglielmo, and Salvatore. Together, they would form one of the most feared Camorra clans in Naples' history. But Luigi was different. He had charisma, intelligence, and a ruthlessness that even his brothers couldn't match. The 1980s were a turning point for the Camorra. The cocaine trade exploded, bringing unprecedented wealth and unprecedented violence. Naples became a battlefield as clans fought for control of this lucrative market. The Giuliano brothers saw an opportunity. While other clans fought amongst themselves, the Giulianos consolidated power in Forcella through a combination of cunning diplomacy and strategic violence. Luigi emerged as the clan's leader, the Kappa clan. He was only in his 20s, but he commanded respect through a simple philosophy. Loyalty was rewarded, betrayal was punished with death. By 1985, Luigi Giuliano controlled all criminal activity in Forcella: drug trafficking, extortion, loan sharking, counterfeit goods. Nothing moved in his territory without his permission, and nothing happened without his cut. At the height of his power, Luigi Giuliano wasn't just a gangster. He was a sovereign. Forcella was his kingdom, and he ruled it like a medieval lord. Every morning he would hold court in the neighborhood's cafes. Local residents would come to him with problems, disputes with neighbors, financial troubles, family issues, and Luigi would dispense justice. This is the paradox of the Camorra bosses. To the people in the neighborhood, they're not criminals. They're protectors, benefactors. When the state fails you, when the police don't come, when you can't pay your rent, you go to the boss. Luigi understood power isn't just about fear, it's about loyalty. He paid for weddings, funerals, and medical bills. He provided jobs, albeit illegal ones. He created a parallel economy where those forgotten by society could survive. But this benevolence came with a price: total submission, total silence, and for those who broke the code, total destruction. The foundation of Luigi's empire was cocaine, tons of it, flowing from South America through Spain and into Naples. From there, the Giuliano clan distributed it throughout Italy and Europe. The profits were staggering. Millions of euros every month, laundered through legitimate businesses, restaurants, construction companies, real estate. The Giuliano clan didn't just sell drugs. They invested in the future. But the drug trade brought something else: violence. As rival clans tried to muscle in on Giuliano territory, the streets of Forcella ran red with blood. The faida, the clan wars, became a way of life in Naples. Shootings in broad daylight, assassinations at cafes, car bombs. The violence was so intense that Naples earned a grim nickname: Napoli Beirut. Over 400 Camorra murders occurred in Naples between 1980 and 1990. Luigi's response to threats was simple and brutal: total war. His hitmen, known as Killer, were among the most feared in Italy. The Camorra's greatest weapon wasn't guns or money. It was silence. The code of omertà, the vow of silence that every member took. Breaking it meant death, not just for you, but for your entire family. In Forcella, nobody saw anything. Nobody heard anything. Nobody knew anything. Even when murders happened in crowded streets, police couldn't find a single witness. The state's biggest challenge wasn't catching Camorristi, it was getting anyone to testify. People were more afraid of the Camorra than they were of going to prison themselves. Luigi Giuliano perfected this system. He had informants everywhere, in the police, in the courts, in rival clans. He knew about investigations before they began. He knew about arrests before they happened. For years, he seemed untouchable. But no empire lasts forever. By the early 1990s, the Italian state launched a massive anti-mafia campaign. New laws allowed for pentiti, turncoats, to receive protection in exchange for testimony. And some Camorristi began to break the sacred code of omertà. Even more dangerous, Luigi's own success bred jealousy within the Camorra. Rival clans began to form alliances against the Giulianos. The walls were closing in. January 27, 1992. Dawn breaks over Forcella. Hundreds of carabinieri, Italy's military police, surround the neighborhood. This is Operation Spartacus, the largest anti-Camorra operation in history. Their target, Luigi Giuliano and his entire organization. Luigi was arrested in a safe house along with dozens of his associates. The kingdom of Forcella had fallen. The charges were staggering: murder, drug trafficking, extortion, criminal association, weapons trafficking. The evidence came from wiretaps, surveillance, and, most damaging of all, pentiti testimony. For the first time, members of the Giuliano clan were talking. The wall of omertà had cracked. The pentiti program was revolutionary. For the first time, Camorristi realized they had a choice: die for the clan, or save themselves and their families. Some chose life. Luigi Giuliano's trial became a media sensation. The proceedings revealed the inner workings of the Camorra in unprecedented detail: coded messages, secret meetings, murder contracts. Former associates described Luigi as a cunning strategist and a merciless killer. They testified about his personal involvement in numerous murders and his control over the neighborhood's entire criminal economy. On June 15, 1993, the verdict came down: guilty on all charges. Luigi Giuliano was sentenced to life in prison. His brothers received similar sentences. The Giuliano clan was finished. Luigi Giuliano has spent over 3 decades in Italian maximum security prisons, held under the harsh Article 41 bis regime, a special detention status reserved for the most dangerous mafia bosses. Under 41 bis, he's isolated from the outside world. 1 hour of exercise per day. No phone calls. Letters are screened. Visits are rare and monitored. The Italian state's message is clear: the Camorra may control the streets, but behind bars, the state is in charge. Article 41 bis broke the back of organized crime in Italy. These bosses can't give orders. They can't maintain their networks. They're completely cut off. For someone like Giuliano, who lived for power and respect, it's a living death. Today, Luigi Giuliano is 64 years old. He will likely die in prison. Walk through Forcella today, and the neighborhood looks different. Police maintain a stronger presence. Social programs have invested in youth and education. The Giuliano name no longer strikes the same fear, but the Camorra hasn't disappeared. New clans have filled the vacuum left by the Giulianos. New bosses have emerged. The system that created Luigi Giuliano is still in place. The Camorra still generates over 20 billion euros annually with more than 6,000 active members. Luigi Giuliano was a product of his environment. Until we address the poverty, the lack of opportunity, the social exclusion that breeds organized crime, there will always be another Luigi Giuliano. Some in Forcella still speak of Luigi with a mix of fear and nostalgia. To them, he was a complicated figure. A criminal, yes, but also a man of honor who looked after his own. Those were different times. We had no one else. The state abandoned us. At least Luigi was one of us. Luigi Giuliano's story is a cautionary tale about power, loyalty, and the seductive nature of organized crime. He built an empire on violence and fear, wrapped in a veneer of respect and tradition. He ruled his kingdom absolutely, and he lost it completely. Behind the walls of Italy's toughest prison, the former godfather of Forcella has had decades to contemplate his choices. Whether he feels remorse or regret, only he knows. But one thing is certain. The legend of Luigi Giuliano remains a dark reminder of what happens when crime becomes culture, and when the line between protector and predator disappears completely. Luigi Giuliano remains imprisoned under Article 41 bis. He is serving multiple life sentences and has been denied parole.